Hi guys, so it's been a while, apologies about that. I think the last thing I posted was in October during my Octoberfest, which I gotta say took a lot out of me. It was a lot of hard work, a lot of editing, so naturally I didn't really want to see Adobe Premiere for quite some time afterwards. But I'm back ready to go and looking forward to creating some new content for you in 2020. And I'm desperate to talk about games a little bit more, so without further ado, my first video of 2020 will be talking about Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey was the first Mario game I really kind of fell in love with. I hadn't really had much experience playing Mario games before this. I dabbled in Mario Kart, you know, like everyone else has. I love a bit of Mario Kart. I played a little bit of Mario 3D World on the Wii U, but Mario never really kind of grabbed me as a character, so I was never really interested to kind of go back and play Mario games. Until Mario Odyssey came around, and it just looked so much fun, so it was one of the games that I picked up with my Switch. And I'm actually quite annoyed at myself that I'm only literally just talking about Mario Odyssey now because it is such an incredible game. I wasn't expecting to love Mario Odyssey as much as I did, and I think it was such a great introduction to Mario because as a game it's just so well polished, the controls are incredible, and the main thing that really stood out to me was the design of the worlds. And that is what I'm going to talk about in this video today. So we're going to do a bit of a countdown of my favourite worlds in Mario Odyssey. So coming in at number 10 is the Snow Kingdom. Now Snow Kingdom is the lowest purely because I didn't think the stuff you had to do in the level was as exciting as others, but it made it on the list because of the inhabitants of the kingdom. Now these things are called the Shavirians, and I don't like them just because their name sounds like my name. They're just adorable little Sealy things in woolly hats, and I just think they're the cutest things ever. And some of the most gorgeously designed NPCs I think that are in Mario Odyssey. But the overall feel of their dwelling, the Nordic / Siberian feel of the whole kind of area that they live in is just lovely. I will say one of the other things about Snow Kingdom I love is the big cloud thingies. I can't remember the names, but they are really fun. The reason why it's kind of low on the list is just because I didn't think there was as much fun stuff to do in the world. Coming in at number 9 is the Lost Kingdom, which is one of the most interesting worlds in terms of it's just quite different to the others. It's quite a small area, but it's quite packed with stuff. It has some really fun enemies like the Guardian of the Runes, and it also has one of my favourite things that I like to control, but we'll be talking about that in a Patreon exclusive video, so stay tuned if you're a Patreon. I just love the look of the Lost Kingdom. It's so vibrant and rich whilst being quite dark, and you know, you actually really feel lost in that kingdom. It kind of really feels like it is undiscovered. Right, so number 8 is Mushroom Kingdom, and I have said previously that I haven't played many Mario games, so naturally I haven't played Mario 64. I know I'm terrible, but I probably will be playing it and reviewing it for my upcoming series Retro Reviews, so stay tuned for that. I think that's going to be on my blog rather than a YouTube video, but we shall see. I don't know yet, I haven't really started it, but I'm gonna be doing it. So I don't really have that nostalgic connection to Mushroom Kingdom like other people might have, but I couldn't help but be so charmed by it anyway. And I've actually had a look at Mario 64 clips and stuff like that, and how they've redone it is beautiful, and yeah, I think it's a really nice homage to the game that I haven't played yet. But with some lovely surprises in store, which I'm not going to talk about in case you haven't played it, the Mushroom Kingdom is just a little bit of a joy, really. So coming in at number 7 is Cascade Kingdom. I have such a lovely memory of Cascade Kingdom because it is pretty much the first real level that you go to. I mean, I would say Cat Kingdom's the first one, but that's kind of more like an introductory level, and this is more like a secondary introductory level, I think, in my head. But I just can't help have a soft spot for this kingdom. It truly showed me what the game was about. It shows you how many things that you can pack into such a small space, and I think Cascade Kingdom is wonderfully designed. Actually reminds me of a giant version of a level in Toad's Treasure Tracker in the fact that everything's so densely packed. There's so much to do in such a small space, and I just think it is so well done. And on top of it, everyone loves dinosaurs, and it's got plenty of those in it, so I was happy. So number 6 is Sand Kingdom, and whilst this isn't one of the most aesthetically pleasing ones for me personally, I think that it comes so high on my list because there is just so much stuff to do, and I had a lot of fun doing it. It's just so vast. There's just so much stuff to do, and it's so much fun to just run around on Jaxie, the kind of stone thing. Lion? The stone lion? I think he's a lion. I don't know. And yeah, it's just fun, and it's what this game is about really, is fun, and I think Sand Kingdom kind of encapsulates that wonderfully. And there's lots of kind of mysterious hidden areas, like under the pyramid for one, that's really fun. And there's lots of cool stuff to, you know, take control of. And like I said, it's just so much fun to kind of whirl around on Jaxie. He is the most infuriating yet fun thing to control. And yeah, that's Sand Kingdom. So coming in at number 5 is Metro Kingdom. And I will say I wasn't quite convinced by Metro Kingdom when I went to it first. I found it quite bland. I think it's because it's a little bit more realistic than the others in the people, which still terrify me. I find them very uncomfortable to look at. But I think on a second visit to the kingdom, I appreciated it a lot more, and is why it's kind of bumped up to number 5. I kind of appreciated its difference and had fun with it. There is so much to do in Metro Kingdom, and I think it takes what could potentially be so mundane and makes it so exuberant and fun. And it also has one of the best moments in the entire game for me, and yes, it's the part that involves the incredible song that will now get in your head. Number 4 is Lake Kingdom, and I'm pretty sure this is so high on the list because it's pretty, so you can see how I rate things. If it's shiny and pretty, I will probably like it. I just love a mermaid, and Lake Kingdom had mermaids, and it immediately was, you know, one of my favourites. It's also a lot of fun. It's not just pretty. I think it's really well designed. The kind of underwater palace thing is really, really lovely and really well designed. There's just still a part of me that goes back to how pretty it is. It's just so pastel and shiny. So number 3 is the Wooded Kingdom, which I'm actually quite surprised at myself why I put it this high, but kind of thinking about it, it makes sense. So aesthetically it isn't my favourite, but I think it has the most going for it in the way of, I guess, stuff to do. I think the design, even though it's not pretty, is really, really cool. I love all the robots, the watering cans that are looking after the plants. I think that's such a gorgeous narrative. You can kind of see what it was like beforehand and what they were trying to do. It's just got a great narrative. I love the Wooded Kingdom. But as well, it has a lot to do. It's the area that I get lost in the most, and that's a good thing. And I love that if you fall, then you just end up in a completely different area that is totally creepy. And again, I just love the fact that the whole world is based around robots looking after nature. I think that's really, really nice. So number 2 is Bowser's Kingdom. I just absolutely fell in love with the design of Bowser's Kingdom. All I could think of playing through this level was Sekiro. And yes, it's a completely different game. However, the traditional Japanese design that they've gone for is amazing. I love it. And it's just when you're running around on roofs, you really get that Sekiro vibe, but without the continuous death and frustrating gameplay that I endured playing Sekiro. But alongside the environment, the mechanics are so fun. There's one particular enemy that you can take over with your hat that I will talk about in my other video, but I absolutely loved playing as this thing. I thought that how you used it was super fun. And just the whole design of the area really makes you feel like you're leading up to the big final boss, which is awesome. And I really kind of like that they didn't go for the traditional kind of Western style of castle that I'm pretty sure is typical of Bowser's Castle. I don't know, I haven't really played much Mario, but I just really like that they went for something a little bit different. So coming in at number 1, drumroll please, is Seaside Kingdom. I absolutely adore Bubbeline. I'm going to say Bubbeline. Its inhabitants, or the NPCs, are just adorable. The setting is lovely. The design is so great. I really love Seaside Kingdom. The Bubblinians are really well designed. I just love looking at them. They're adorable and their eyes are just so mesmerizing. And again, there is just so much to do, and I think what I like about Seaside Kingdom is there's a lot to do on the surface, but then when you go underwater there's still a lot of stuff to do, so it's kind of varied. But the standout thing for me, and perhaps why I put it so high, is the water. And I know this sounds really strange, but the water is essentially meant to be kind of champagne, fizzy stuff. So every time you jump into it, it feels like you're in a bubbly water, and it's just down to the sound design. I'm pretty sure the controller rumbles a little bit. It just feels so satisfying, and I just love it, and it's probably why it's so high on my list, is mainly because how they did the bubbly water, which sounds ridiculous, but if you played it, I really hope you understand why I think it's so cool. Another thing that I love about Bubbling again is another thing that you can turn into. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I've got another video for that, but this thing is just so much fun. I love it. And as well, I love the story part of it and what you have to do in the boss battle. It's just really fun. So that was my top 10 Mario Odyssey worlds, and I would love to hear what your top 10 are. Do you agree with mine? Do you have major disagreements? I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Also, let me know which Mario games I should play, because I have a lot of catching up to do. So thank you guys for watching. I'll be doing a video about my favourite things that you can turn into or take over on my Patreon page, so I'll be posting that soon. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon, you can do for as little as $2 a month, and you get exclusive content from me, early access to posts, and a whole bunch of other things, so go check that out. The link's down below. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. The link is in the description as well. So thanks so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe.